Welcome into another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on this episode, we'll take a look at Florida's offense versus LSU's defense. The matchup for the offense coming into this game was favorable, as LSU's defense was not a quality one. 105th overall in success rate, giving up a lot of plays through the air and on the ground, and really offering Florida a chance to be very successful. The story of this game was largely twofold for Florida. They were successful in many regards. They put up a lot of nice numbers. They had, obviously, a productive day scoring points, but they struggled versus LSU's man defense, which coming into this game was very weak for them. They typically allowed 111 passer rating while playing man, but in this game, Florida was held to a 58.6 passer rating and a 43% completion rate. That was a significant hindrance for Florida. And once again, Florida's inability to be consistent on conversion downs. Florida 4 for 13 on third down, 1 for 3 on fourth down. That is 5 for 16 on conversion downs, was going to hold them back from having an excellent day. This was, of course, still a good day. Most teams have good days versus LSU's defense. Florida did that on the road. They did enough to win. The offense is not the reason why Florida lost, but of course, there's still plenty of room for improvement. And Florida, again, a lot of times just can't quite turn the corner to have a four-quarter consistent performance on offense. As always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, like this video, follow us on social media, drop us a dono on Patreon, where you can support our efforts to bring you more of this type of content all season long, and check out our podcast, where each and every Monday we bring you in-depth analysis on the Florida Gators. All right, let's start with 2nd down and 4 right here. So Florida's already gained 6 yards. LSU's already scored a touchdown. And right out of the gate, Florida once again starting to become a team where their first drive, their scripted drive, is in fact a very good one. Little play action here to Montrell. We're going to roll to the right and get Ricky on a nice route right here on Perkins, one of the best linebackers on paper in the country, not having nearly as good of a year this year as people expected, in large part because you got to play defense with 11 guys and other guys are struggling. But nice design by Florida. Ricky's going to look like he's going to sit right here on this inside hitch. Meanwhile, Perkins looking into the backfield. Feels like perhaps Florida is going this way, right? Which is, again, poor by him, because if you watch Florida, where are we going? You know we're rolling out to the right. What are you doing, Perkins? Giving us a cookie right here, and we're going to take it. Ricky for a first down. It's nice when you play a bad defense, you get some freebies like that one. Florida gets another first down now, moving the sticks here nicely, trying to answer LSU's score coming into the game. I had asked in the podcast for what I call the ET offense, ET phone home, if you will, to get enough touches for Trey and for ETN to be 50% of Florida's offensive touches. They would, in this game, get quite a few touches to ET, if you will. In fact, 38% of Florida's offensive touches went to them. And here is a well-designed play right now. LSU does not play man. They're not playing man, which, again, this is taking candy from a baby right here, because we know that we are 1, 2, and 3 on 2 with a dropping corner. This is the kind of stuff you want to see east-west. It's also the kind of stuff Florida's defense tries not to do. They play more aggressive. LSU here trying to just play safe, keep everything in front of them. When you're a bad defense, pick your poison, right? Here you go. Easy money here. Stick this. Let's get a block, and we are off to the races. Now, I like this blocking style by Florida. We're going to throw the block here instead of here. Good leverage point. Pull him into the blocker, and then allow Ricky to head up right there. And now you get Trey working the window. Perkins sheds this block really easily. It's what good linebackers do. Watch how he casts aside right here. See you later. No, thank you. You're not going to block me. Peace out. And he's there, right? Boom. That's what makes you a good linebacker. You have to shed blocks. This is what good linebackers do, is they shed blocks like that, and they come make a tackle. So instead of Trey going for a touchdown, like he might against Florida, and their linebackers sometimes, this play goes for 5 or 6 yards. But Trey getting touches, proving to be dangerous, Florida moving the ball. Little RPO action right here. We're going to freeze the linebacker with our run fake. Freeze right there. Mertz, his job is twofold. he can read this defensive end, and he can also read the linebacker. If he stays shallow, he knows he has this throw right over his head. There it is. Look and find your window. And there's your window. Right, one more time. Find your window. There's your window. Easy, 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 easy. First down, Florida. If once is good, twice is better. Right here. Run fake. Linebacker's coming in. Corner off. RPO. Easy money on the slant route. Stick it right in there. And there we go. So again, this is important. LSU's linebacker, this is where good linebacker play makes a big difference, right? Is your job. He's not coming downhill to fit yet. He's waiting to read this. The quicker you read this, the quicker you can get into the proper throwing lane and make that actually get batted down. Instead, he pulls himself out of the throwing lane. That ball right where it needs to be by Mertz. Excellent ball. And Florida in business in the red zone. It's possible that LSU didn't really watch any film coming into this game on Trey, because we've seen every other team, when you see Trey come in motion on this jet sweep, like everyone moves, like the whole defense goes. Or Florida's done a nice job faking this in the red zone and then running other stuff, right? So perhaps this is merited if you're LSU. You say, forget it, it's a fake. It's not a fake. There's your little pop pass. That counts as a pass because it's forward. We're off to the races. Now, because we didn't shift and adjust our angle out on the motion, which, by the way, you should really always do. If you're the edge defender and you get a motion across, you need to take one step to the outside. Florida takes advantage of this. Trey's too fast. Really good block here from Ricky. This time we're locking up right there, and that is what you want to see. That's what you want to see, and you want to see this too. I love this right here. It's like he's reaching for a ghost. He's like, come on, come on. I'm right. I'm so close, but I'm really just so far away. Touchdown Trey. Florida on the board. 7-7. 1st and 10 now on the 1 yard line. I bet you did not have a split zone play fake on your bingo card. Bet you didn't. Of course you did. You've seen this channel. You know that Florida's definitely going to run a split zone play fake here. Here we go. They're going to do it, and they're going to run it with different levels. And this time we actually hit the second level, which I think has been open in the past. In general, and this time Mertz hits it. A nice enough separation here where he's not under immediate duress, and then this one is stuck right here. I like this design as we're bringing him from here and not from over here on this play, which takes longer and often allows the defender to close that window. This is quick and easy. As soon as they both bite, Mertz knows he has it. Get the time, separate, throw. There we go. And then get out of a bad situation under the shadow of our own goalposts, as they say. 2nd and 2, and this play might be my favorite play of the entire season. Not actually, but close, because we've talked about in this film review a lot about how Florida never roll to the left. We don't have an example of that on film. I'm saying never. I believe that to be never, where we run like a flood concept to the left. I mean, it doesn't happen. However, I've often talked about the fact if you don't want to do that, which I think, by the way, Florida definitely should, we should absolutely be running more play actions where we at least fake for a second we're going to the right and then set in the actual pocket rather than running ourselves into traffic while throwing left. And we've displayed this before, and here it actually happens. Looks like we're once again, LSU's defense already knows, oh man, we're coming here, let's go, let's all get running this way, we're going to fly this way. I've seen this play a million times on film, and then we're going to stop and set the pocket right there. I like this. I wish Florida would do this more. I think it's a much better version of play action than always running 5 to 6 plays a game in the flood concepts that Billy loves and everyone knows they're doing. And because teams don't see Florida throw left a lot off these looks, here we go. We have 2 wide open receivers in this case. Both Etienne and Hansen are completely wide open. And then there you go. We're 2-on-1ing this guy. He could have picked either one of them. He could have thrown Etienne over here. He can throw Hansen right there, take the safe throw on 2nd and 2. And Florida's going to pick up a first down. So, nice design there. I like that concept a lot. I think Florida would be wise to start rolling out to the left with some floods and then also start faking those roll to the right, set in the pocket, and throw to the left side of the field off of play action, playing on the fact that teams are going to overplay you to the right. 3rd and 8, not a distance Florida wants to be up against anyone. They find themselves in this position far too often. That's why their 3rd down conversion tends to struggle the way that it does. And right here, LSU in zone actually covers the primary target here pretty well. We are short of the sticks by quite a bit on this hitch route. Again, if you had hitch route on your bingo card, I know you're shocked by that. Hitch route here by Trey. We also had a hitch route here by Ricky off your screen, which would have been the throw to make. It would have been a tight window, had to be early. He's looking at Trey, and Trey is not there, and he's not throwing it, and then he's recognizing he's about to get crunched because Barber gets absolutely just, whatever you want to use there. You pick your own adjective for that, but there's Barber turned around backwards facing his quarterback. Not what you want to be doing as an O-line. You want to be looking at your quarterback. That's not good, and that's unfortunate. Again, a lot of times Florida has just one lineman, and it kind of rotates through who doesn't get the job done, and then Florida pays the ultimate price as this ball gets stripped out of Mertz's hand, picked up by LSU, and LSU now gets a stop, and we are back in business for the home team, and Florida left wondering what could have been. Instead of punting, you get this. LSU celebrating, jumping around, feeling good about themselves. Not what you want to be doing versus this LSU defense, obviously. But again, something Florida has done rather consistently. So this Florida offense just is what it is. You get the highs, you get the lows, you get the in-between. And again, productive on this day. Not the reason why Florida loses, but a good play for LSU here. Florida tends to find itself too frequently, especially on the road, in drives that get to like 2nd and 25 or 3rd and 18 or just some self-inflicted set of wounds where there's really no way you're picking up a first down. There's no way Florida's going to pick one up here. We've seen them run screens and try everything else, and here they actually just go for really, I think, some yardage, trying to hope they can break a tackle versus a defense that is porous. Mertz breaks out, we get a holding call, and we are punting. So Florida gets stopped here again in this situation. But notice LSU has also been getting stopped, so the game's still hanging in the balance. 3rd and 7 now for Florida. Again, not a down and distance they want. I do like the fact that we go empty here. All of you know I'm a big proponent of going empty, especially when your O-line is struggling. Because of this, it clarifies your matchups. The defense can't be as confusing. It's much harder for them to drop guys. They can't get guys all the way over here and do exotic stuff. It just clarifies the look, and it allows for faster reading, and it allows for a quick game. Even when you're facing 3rd and 7 to get the ball out of your hands. Florida is again going to go with all hitches, something of course we love to do. Turn our back, take away any yard after the catch, but hitch. Back foot hits the ground. Your first read is there. You're protecting well versus a 5-man rush. Get the ball over the hands right here, just barely, and right into the hands of your wide open receiver, Ricky Pearsall, who continues to do work, especially when he gets a favorable matchup. The guy almost always gets open. He does there, and a nice conversion for the Gators. 3rd and 5. This is unfortunate here for Florida for 2 reasons. One, we're in man-to-man here. There goes Trey. You heard me say last week on the film review. This I think you heard me say on the film review. I definitely said it in the podcast. I definitely said it this week in the podcast. If you're facing man-to-man, every single ball should go to Trey. Every single one should go to Trey, with the second one going to Ricky. Because Trey thus far has not been successfully covered by anybody when they have played man-to-man versus him. So when you see this and he goes across, you just pick whatever route you want to run right here. Let's just get him one-on-one. Let's get him going on 3rd and 5. Let's do it every single time until teams bracket them, and then you get advantageous scenarios elsewhere. Florida's going to go for an RPO. Fine call here. Again, let's just keep it simple and go here. Fine call here, but Perkins is going to be your unblocked man. That's probably a bad idea because Perkins is LSU's best player on defense, and he's smart enough to figure out right here that although Florida's running split zone, he's not buying it. He simply quickly evades Arliss with a great burst into the backfield, and now Mertz wants to keep it, which in all reality, with him flowing this high up the field, he should get rid of it and allow Etienne to run. But he also reads correctly that LSU has moved over here and left a giant truck-sized hole for this. But Perkins is going to be a one-man wrecking crew here because once Mertz gets the ball, and he's going quick game. Take a look. We're going 0 drop. Catch. We're not dropping back. We're throwing this ball immediately. Perkins gets there so quickly. Boom. This is a fumble. Thankfully, it comes to us. That's going to be a first down on 3rd and 5. And instead of Florida converting, it goes into a stop for LSU because of Perkins. That's a bummer. That play call is solid. Again, I'm highlighting Trey because I think you want to find ways to get the maximum amount of yards you can when teams play man. Get your best playmaker a chance to make a play in those situations. Make them pay with the biggest positive EV. This particular play would have worked. Unfortunately, Perkins had other ideas. After some penalties both ways, Florida winds up back again in 3rd and 8. Not a down and distance you want to be in. But again, on this very film review all year, we've talked about Florida needing to run more of these halfback middle routes. They're excellent routes for them. They have 2 good pass-catching backs that are elusive when the ball in their hands. This is a slow developing halfback middle route. LSU is going to get Florida on these later in the game as well. Right here, Montrell's got a win. He's got a chance to make a tackle and get Florida off the field, and Montrell does win. Quick feet, beats him to the inside, then cuts back here and picks up a first for Florida on 3rd and 8 with a very safe throw. Easy concept, but I think that's very dangerous, and all of that occurs on this play in large part because Florida is going to wind up sending 5 receivers into the pattern, with the latest one being Montrell. LSU dropped back into zone. They dropped 5 of their guys back beyond the sticks, and that allowed Florida to have an underneath receiver open, and LSU does not make the tackle. So LSU trying to play safe, unlike where we see Florida trying to play very aggressive. The safety here does not work out for LSU, and Florida burns them for a first, although Florida down 10. Creative ways to get Trey the ball. That is what you want to do as Florida's offense. Jet sweep here, orbit motion here. Leads to quality deception. There's your jet sweep. There's your fake handoff. And there's your orbit toss. All of that action got LSU's defense heavily moving this way. All that eye candy worked. Now we got a down block here. Got Hansen coming out here. Let's get a block, lock it up right there. And then we're off to the races. And again, take a look at Perkins, right? If you want to see how you play linebacker, this is what you do. You shed blocks. You get rid of blocks. That's how you make plays that are going to be huge, become more normal sized. Trey's fast enough here, though, to evade. Again, Trey's special. This is a freshman. This is one of the best linebackers in the league. He goes low on Trey, and Trey cuts him back and gains more yak. This dude is legit, right? That's a nice play for Florida on 1st down and 10. We'll take that in the red zone every day of the week. Here comes the first of ETN's 3 TDs. Again, ET offense, ET phone home. Get these guys the football. Florida in 12 personnel. Ricky on the jet sweep. You can see LSU again doesn't really care about the jet sweep. We've seen this countlessly with Ricky, although they didn't care about it with Trey either. So it could just be how LSU plays defense. He's going to wait for Ricky to come out here, and we're going to go this way with ETN right here, inside zone. Got a nice gap as the linebacker dives to the inside, and Florida walls that off, and now it's ETN coming through the hole, corner coming downhill on him, no chance, bye-bye, tutty. Florida down 17-14 after the score. Thanks to a penalty that Florida does not want to get, delay of game penalty, which makes it even worse. Really just not ideal, right? You don't want to be getting delay of game penalties after you receive a punt, but Florida down 17-14. That's what happens to them. It's now 1st and 15. You can bet a lot of money Florida's probably going to run here with 2:11 left. LSU with no timeouts left. They do not want to give LSU the football back. Rightfully so at this point in time. You're hoping here to maybe get some yards, enough yards to justify, of course, kind of throwing it, and then you get that. At that point in time, and I am generally in favor of scoring as much as possible, but it is 17-14. Your defense up until this point has shown a lot of signs of life. And in fact, one play has made up 7 of those points. And you're thinking, hey, we get the ball back in the second half. Let's not give them the ball with a minute left to score and extend this lead. Let's just bleed the clock out. That's exactly what Florida's going to wind up doing. Again, although I tend to be on the aggressive side trying to score points, especially in games like these, I don't mind this decision given that egregious 1st down penalty. If the penalty's not there, I think Florida would have done well to have attempted to at least really go for getting that 1st down and trying to get at least a field goal, as every point would matter in this game. But as it stands, Florida's going to drain this clock out, and we're going to go to the second half. Florida coming out of the gate in halftime facing a 3rd and 5. That's certainly much better than 3rd and 7 or 8. Need to pick this up. Trey this time comes across. Notice how nobody follows him, so they're not in man. Florida knows they have zone, which is what they want in this look. They're going to try to create some past the sticks route here to pull these defenders back far enough to hit this flat route to a running back, which we saw work earlier. He looks open right here. He is open right here. But a nice play made, recognizing this play is going short. Hands up. bats the ball down and denies Montrell a chance to take on a corner one-on-one, which we saw him win earlier in a similar circumstance. So Florida right out of the gate, unfortunately, is going to have to punt the ball back to LSU. LSU promptly scores. Florida now in a 10-point hole. Ricky's going to run a really filthy move off your screen. You're not going to see where he gets a little stutter going late in the route. Gets the corner going to the outside. He then breaks it off to the inside. And then Mertz is going to deliver this ball on time, except for the fact that he, rather miraculously, is not going to get this ball tipped. Right away, we lose contain. Again, it's always someone different, right? It's not the same guy every time. That's Richie Leonard. He just gets abused by a guy who was abusing people all game long. 0 and 90. They were menaces right here. Throws him off in the backfield. Mertz, I mean, he just, look at this. I cannot believe he gets that ball off enough so he gets his hand hit. He does, and this ball winds up being really nice to Ricky, who goes and climbs the ladder and picks it up and winds up getting a first down for the Gators. The Gators going to exercise a little payback versus LSU here for the year in which LSU ran the GT counter all over Florida. Here comes a GT counter of our own. Here it comes, ETN getting a touch. There's your guard tackle counter. There's Barber engaging everything you want. The slow-moving freight train has delivered to the station. Here comes George bearing a guy way into the second level. And we are off to the races. Here we go, ETN. Going to wind up breaking that tackle right there, all the way down the field, running over a safety, hanging on for dear life. Big chunk yardage on 2nd and 7. If one time is good, a second time is better, back to back. How about the old guard tackle counter again? Here we go. Same play, let's ride. Dive inside, Barber to the outside. Let's get a block there. There's ETN. He's so quick and slippery through the hole. There's George again. We riding. And off to the races we go. It should be stated that LSU is not playing this drive with Perkins. Perkins on the sideline. We've talked about Florida's own issues when their linebackers are not in there, Shamar James being one of them, and how really it's very hard to play defense if your linebackers are not getting off blocks and not filling their gaps. And LSU is playing victim to not having an elite linebacker on the field, and ETN is making everybody pay. Make a safety miss. There you go. Let's go down over here. This looks a lot like Florida's defense. And into the end zone goes ETN for a second tutty. And we've got ourselves a game, 24-21. It's kickoff time because LSU is going to give Florida a sweet gift on this play right here. Here comes the kickoff. And look at this. We're just going to boot this. I mean, right in the breadbasket right here. A very short kick by Smack uncharacteristically. And literally we're going to boot it right there. There's the boot. Right into our hands. Florida gets a huge break. We're down 24-21. This could be our moment. Let's see what the offense can do with it. After several consistent running plays, Florida finds itself in 1st and goal and then goes tempo. Tempo on LSU where LSU is not ready. Snaps the ball and then drives right here as they like to do. Off of Mazuka's side. Drive low. Get in there and score a touchdown, in which Florida does. 1-yard rush touchdown. Florida fans fired up. We're in this game. It's in the 3rd quarter. It's 7:16 left, and we're up now with a lead on the road thanks to the gift that LSU gave us. We will take it, and we will not be sad about it. 3rd and 5 now for Florida, needing to keep stride for stride here with LSU. Going to motion Arliss across. Notice the safety is following. Looks like they're in man-to-man defense, which means we should try to go to Trey. Let's make this happen. Come on, load it up. Play we have here is not my favorite because our splits are tight. And if you want to run this combo, Florida's going to run. Again, they're not going to really help each other in the way I'd like to see them help each other, the way we saw LSU help each other on the defensive film review, because we are going to clear this out and then bring him underneath. You're going to see that here. Right? But however, you're not affecting his path actually at all. Due to leveling, that's what you want to do as a defense. The reason you play at these different levels is so that if this play is run like this, you're unaffected and you come right downhill and meet here at the middle. You can run this play in a much better way, which I've drawn to you before multiple times, where you actually get Trey coming forward. You get him coming forward right here, and you snap it off when he starts to backpedal at all. Get him backpedaling some there in man. That also gives you a bigger window in case they drop, which they do here. Perkins into your window. Instead, Florida goes for the immediate look. Your read window of your Mertz is going to be right here. You're taking a picture of this, and you can tell right away that this guy's going to be on top of him, and I now need to take my shot over the top, and he delivers an absolute dime as he gets hit right here on the A-gap blitz. There's your pressure. This is a dime. Knows he's going to get hit. Delivers a sensational ball to Khalil Jackson. This is perfect ball. You got to catch this. He's super sure-handed. It certainly looked like he caught this ball. Even during the replay, it looked like it was going to be a call stands and not a call overturned. Like they would not have enough to overturn that. If you look at the LSU players' reactions, take a look at all the reactions right here. What do you see? Nothing. You see nothing. No coaches. No one thinks it's incomplete. You see a lot of guys think, oh, man, that's a nice catch. It's a good play. Nobody is signaling incomplete on the LSU sideline. Really cruel fate to have instant replay take that one away from Florida at this point in the game where it was so important for them to keep strike on a great ball. But that's how it goes sometimes, and really unfortunate for Florida. This sort of, although not officially signaled the end, they're going to wind up staying close. This felt like a major momentum turn in this game. Here's a nice example of Florida using Trey to create openings for others. By motioning them across, quite simply, they're going to change how they handle now this two-man surface. The corner is going to stay on Trey. The safety is now going to wind up getting matched up here. And Florida's going to take advantage just by running a nice, clean hitch route. But Mertz does a really nice job to read from his one. Here's his one right here. He's going to read his one. Doesn't like that one. Immediately back foot hits the ground. Be decisive. And now let's look at your two. Lots of space here. Safety still backpedaling. And let's hit that two right in the face mask. Really, really nice work there from Mertz. Good play design by simply using a pre-snap motion to change how they're going to handle that and then take advantage of the matchup that you have to convert a first down. 38-28 rather. 3rd and 11 now for the Gators. They have got to find a way to pick this up. This is why you twist and stunt as a D-line. LSU is going to twist and get right into the gap right here and put pressure on Mertz, where if they didn't with the way Florida's zone blocking is, perhaps Florida just holds up right here. And then if they do hold up, they definitely have Ricky. Just watch Ricky right here on your screen. He's going to be wide open right here. That's an easy throw. But that throw is not going to be made, even if Mertz wanted to make it, in large part because he's about to get pressure right in his face. Again, he's going to read this. You can see him peeking at it right now. However, he's got that. That's a problem. He's got to pull down off that, and now he wisely takes the check down. You can't run for this. You're in trouble. Take your check down. Take your check down on time right here. And he does right there. Check down on time. We got a long way to go. We got a defender right here. We got to make somebody miss. If you're Montrell, hezzy move, freeze him. Got to make this guy miss too. Get to the outside. A little stiff arm. Got to make this guy miss too. And we do it. And look, that's helped by LSU being a bad defense. That's what bad defenses do. They give you plays you probably shouldn't get. But also nice play by Mertz there. The window he wants closes because of an O-line issue not picking up that stunt. And he sticks with the play, hits the check down, gives his athlete, in this case Montrell, a chance. And Montrell delivers with a really nice piece of run after the catch. 2nd and 1, Florida's going to miss a wide open layup touchdown right here. Arliss just going to run a seam go route, and they are not going to cover him. They're going to bust their coverage over here, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to get this, except for the problem we're going to have. Mertz opens to ID the safeties, then comes down to a stutter go. At the bottom of your screen, you can't see a stutter go route to the outside by Ricky, which is picked up well. There he is, reading that stutter go. Right foot hits the ground. Throw the bomb. Nope, not there. Now, right now, he is working to Arliss. That's the number 2. He's working to Arliss. It's time to let this ball fly, except he can't, right? Let it fly. He can't because here we go with the pressure on George coming in hot. Number 90, driving hot. Just bulldozing him in. Look at that. Just bulldozing him into the backfield because of this play, which again, now it's a different one. George hadn't done this for most of this game. He's played well. He gets driven back. Now Mertz is off the spot. Now we got to try to take a check down. Can't take a check down. Now we're running for our life. And 2nd and 1 becomes 3rd and 3. Instead of a touchdown, a walk-in layup touchdown. And again, you cannot see the receiver in this situation. Unfortunately, they're not going to show it to you on television, but Arliss is wide open. Mertz could not have gotten it to him. He gets pressure in his face, but right when he's making the correct read to do so, the O-line does not hold up. Florida would not be deterred by that 3rd and 3. They'd pick it up. They'd carry on. Now we're all the way down on 1st and goal. And give the ball to Etienne. Good idea. Also allow an insta pressure here right up the middle in the B gap. No worries. Etienne is too quick for that. It's not even going to matter. He's going to outrun a guy who gets insta B gap pressure. And then there's Perkins, who again gets off a block. Check him out right here. Going with Arliss right off the block like instantaneously, but goes low. Cannot bring Etienne down. Etienne runs over this guy and gets in the end zone, still standing up. I mean, the guy's got fantastic feet. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it 10 times. The reason I think Florida needs to get the ball into the hands of the ET offense, as I like to now call it, because it's just kind of fun, ET phone home, if you will, is that he just offers more upside than Montrell. He's a solid back. Montrell will still get carries. It tends to be 50-50. I think it should be at least 70-30. Because of what you see here. But either way, Etienne into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown, and Florida still in this game, now down 38-35. Florida down 10, desperately needs to score in the 4th quarter to keep pace with LSU. This play is going to wind up essentially being a little bit of a bust with regards to the protection early on. But no worries, Mertz is going to make this happen thanks to the pressure of Zero, who we talked about earlier. Look at this. He just right away is like, goodbye, no thank you. Okay, running back Etienne, you going to pass pro block me? No way, brother, I'm out of here. Mertz says, no worries. If you see my film of me throwing to my right, I am a just laser. I put it right where I want to, and he really does. Mertz is special rolling out to his right. It's like he's so accurate. Perfect ball, down to the outside. Ricky perfectly works back to the football, as you should in that case, and takes what could have been a bad scenario and turns it into a 1st down from a 1st down. Fourth and 3, and if you see Wilson go in motion, you see Trey go in motion, you know you got to throw it to him, right? This is the matchup you want. Live and die with your guy. I love Arliss, but look, if they're going to play man-to-man, we got to feast with this right here. Give 3 a shot. It's exactly what Florida does. I love this play call. They're going to just slant route Arliss out of the way, and we are going to run in motion. Again, a little angle route here. We saw them do this last week. I applauded it and loved it, and I love it right here, even though Florida does not execute, because this is what you want. It's a high percentage pitch and catch. Unfortunately, this ball from Mertz is behind him. It should be here, and if it's here, he's actually still running. And in fact, maybe he's picking up 15, 20 yards before he gets to the safety, because that's what Trey does. Instead, this ball's well behind him. No worries. Trey's a beast. He does secure it. Brings it in, and right here as he's bringing it in, he's got it. It gets punched out. You can see it getting punched out right there by the LSU defender, who is absolutely toasted. And it's a personal pet peeve of mine that you get to see him flexing and celebrating like this when he just got cooked. The dude got cooked. And he did get to make a play because the ball location was not solid. But if that does not happen, there's no chance he's flexing on Trey, who tried to heroically save a ball that was behind him. So no doubt Mertz wants that back, but I like that play call. Perfect play call in the scenario. Ride with your guy. Live with that result. Florida should do that more often when they see man rather than just doing it on 4th down. But that's some growth as we see Florida's offense under Billy here attempt to, I think, utilize its playmakers in the most high leverage situations and really in simple ways. This simple route, very hard to stop. I like it here. Doesn't work for Florida. That really ends Florida's chances with 6:44 left with all practical purposes. after a 3rd and 30 is now 4th and 12. With the game is basically over. I mean, it really is over at this point in time. But the points are still in play. Florida can at least get within the points to salvage something. Not really anything, but we're going to show it to you anyway, because in this 4th and 12, you're going to see Cameron Waits over here in for the injured Austin Barber get beat by Harold Perkins. Again, this is too easy. He's got a baby on him right now. Waits not ready to play at this level, at least not as a starter, going up against one of the best linebackers in the SEC. Little speed rush. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Mert says, no problem. I've been watching Jaden Daniels run all over our defense all day. Perhaps I can do something. He escapes Perkins. We're rolling out to the right, and we all know what Mertz does rolling out to the right, which is throw cold dimes. And look at this dime. Right outside the outstretched hand, right there on the sideline, tucked into Trey. And look at his reaction right here. This tells you everything. Oh, come on, man. You got to be kidding me that he makes this throw. Look at this throw. I mean, with something we saw on film coming into the season, we highlighted it on our Mertz breakdown. And boy, oh boy, has that been true all year for Florida. Florida moves the sticks in a game that's over, but still, nice moment. Now, can they get in the end zone to get within the points? 4th and goal. Florida gets cover zero man. Cover zero man, you know what you got to do. This is Trey. Don't play around. You got a man-to-man. I mean, just let's go ahead and go to work here. Let's create something for him. For all I care, you can run a go route and a go route and give Trey an option route to do whatever he wants in here. That's what I would do. I think it's awesome. Let's do more of it. Feed him. Florida's going to run a concept that is a sound concept. The concept itself is sound. I'm going to show you why it's sound. You're going to put Ricky here, and then Ricky's going to engage, knowing he's in man-to-man right here, to basically put two guys in one position. We know if two become one, it's not good. While you have a corner route here from Trey to throw into space over the top, should you want it. Of course, the problem Florida has here, as they tend to have a lot, is that we are going to get owned here by LSU, bringing the house, because LSU's like, cool, the game's kind of over now. I really haven't brought pressure at all. They only brought 4 pressures the entire game, and one of them is right here, because who cares? House money, 4th downs, bring everybody. They're going to kind of get home here and make Mertz throw this ball a little bit before he wants to, but in reality, with this concept, if this ball gets right here, he's probably scoring. He's not going to stop you. He's in the jet wash right there. See how he's there? We're walking in the end zone with Khalil, and we've got ourselves inside the points. So although I'm like, hey, let's feed Trey in these situations, of course I am, this is a very sound concept in general. Only problem is LSU had other ideas of knocking this down, which they did and do, and that ends any hope that Florida had of getting inside that 15.5-point spread. They do not get inside of it. They take a big fat L, another L for Billy Napier. More questions being raised, of course, about his future. Can he get the job done? What happens to the recruiting class? We talk about all those things in depth in the podcast each and every week. As far as the film review goes this week, you can see from what we just looked at, all of the different ways that Florida had some success, some struggles, some of the same things we see week to week, some new stuff, some improvements. It's all there for your viewing pleasure, and it's also there for you to make your own opinions and inferences on where you think this football team is going and what you think is best for the direction of the program. That is the beauty of the film. It never lies, but it also leaves things open to opinion in general. It's not always perfect to know how good or bad coaching or coordinating is until you get enough data. And for Florida's offense, they have started to score enough points versus very subpar defenses. We've seen that. They have not been the reason Florida has lost their last 2 football games. It's disappointing. The defense, of course, has let the offense down like that. And now with the upcoming game versus Missouri, we will find out if Florida's offense is in fact improved, as they will face a real challenge versus the other Tigers on Saturday in Columbia. I will be with you after that game as well to put that on film and then break down what happened in that one. But for now, as always, I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this film review of Florida's offense versus LSU, despite the fact that Florida took an L. And I look forward to being back with you next week.